Alex Ansary here. It is August 17th, 2017. We're going to talk in brief on keeping it together during these eclipses. In particular, we have a total solar eclipse, which isn't all that common. I believe eclipses like this come around once every 18 years, but don't quote me. There's a lot of eclipses. There's lunar eclipses, but some of these come through and they're really, really strong. They pack a punch. And sometimes they affect people of particular signs, be they water signs, fire, whatnot, depending on what's going on. So we have I'm a Pisces, for example, born February 25th, 1980. Here we have an eclipse, August 21st, 2017. And I read somewhere that someone having a birthday 6 months away from the event, 180 degrees away, in other words, could be extremely affected by those changes and those changes leading into the next year. And I'm feeling those changes within my own life. I want to talk about those basics, though, of keeping it together, which are the same recommendations that I gave in my 2013 solar flare presentation at the Free Your Mind conference. So we'll talk in just a moment about things like Vipassana meditation, grounding yourself to the earth, other earthing related things, other related activities such as martial arts or body movements to release energy, because I think during these periods our bodies are somehow affected by these changes in the electromagnetic field, changes that we also see during geomagnetic storms, but the changes that we feel within are much stronger during total solar eclipses, more so than regular full moons. So I want to start by saying that I learned first about the solar flare impact over human consciousness, not just by noticing the trends around me, but within me. And I came upon this regarding the eclipse only in recent days. First of all, with a noticeable change in my own life, lost a job of 2.5 years, my online job. I basically lost all my income. And I'm in a challenge now to create new income to pay the basic land payment so I don't lose the land that I live on now. I'm in this major shift in my own life. And it was not planned for me to be someone pumping gas in town, going back and forth from there to here, but to be doing this full time. So for me, it's particularly important to stay grounded and calm throughout the experience by seeing these changes within my own life and then feeling the emotional turmoil, but not just turmoil, the need or sense of getting things done to complete a cycle. That was very strong within me, and I wasn't even thinking about the eclipse. I was seeing the things with North Korea building. And so there's a video mashup that I've wanted to do for a number of years. Really, I want to create a much more elaborate documentary. But the 24 hours that I spent straight editing together a 3-hour documentary with a free 1-hour version on YouTube seemed to be spurred within myself to get something done. I just wrote out 200 pages regarding some introductory thoughts to my life, particularly why I've gone off grid, facts, figures, I guess, contributing factors in particular. And I knew to elaborate on that, some of my experiences. But there was something within me that was like, this information now needs to come out, to be written, to be published sometime soon. And I felt within a knowing that I was going to be losing my job and other premonitions of a non-local awareness sort. It would take some time to elaborate on the number of them that have come. I was also really sick with the stomach flu, and it felt like life-threatening as it was happening. But it felt like it may have happened from something other than just drinking bad water, but triggered by something else. And what could that be but something energetically connecting with me, and just a series of things and the thoughts that I was having while I was sick. Oh God! As the life flashes before one's eyes, but in particular a lifetime of pain, which is something that's been coming back to me. So having given you a little bit of an introduction, right, to I guess the things that I've seen really spark off from job changes to emotions rising, especially last night, seemed like a lifetime of pain, and I chose to express some of that in video. But just feeling it all and like a lifetime of loneliness and just the subtle fear of what comes next. But see, by being aware of it, the solution. Hence, I felt the changes within because I'm super sensitive, then looked online to find out more about these eclipses, really for the first time in my life, and having this aha moment go off. Aha, I'm not alone. Good. These feelings were starting to feel a little bit extreme for a minute. Other people also are going through it to the point where there are blogs about eclipse emotional survival or eclipse survival blogs and things of that nature. Now it becomes more clear why many people are gathering together, places like Oregon and others. There's a sense of being around other people going through the same experience and thus choosing to make it a positive thing. Now, there's a part of me that is much more than a news guy or whatnot, or a new ager. But I look at things mystically, spiritually, cosmically, energetically. I talk about frequencies, vibrations, things of that nature, because it seems to come natural to me. Because I also pick up on those changes within myself and how I'm also greatly, in fact, I think I'm more so impacted by some of these solar flares and other things. There's a reason why I've been drawn to talk about these issues, because I feel like I've learned about these issues intimately through personal life experience. So going back to the 2013 solar flare presentation at the end where I recommended Vipassana, which I went to one of their courses in 2012. It's just one form of many. But you can learn the basics of Vipassana without going to an actual course. But it's recommended that you go to courses to really have the full experience of unplugging from your cell phone, unplugging from the world, unplugging from talking, right? Talking, or listening to others talk, but just being in a state of meditation for 10 days. That's their suggested number of days to meditate straight at one of their courses. And they have more advanced courses at some of their various sites around the U.S. But that was an experience that I was seeking as a 22-year-old. To not become, a part of a Vipassana cult, but to see those dedicated humans dedicating themselves to really unplugging from the matrix and going within, becoming equanimous, the term used in Vipassana, not reacting to all this stimuli. Deep breathing, I believe, is important. Vipassana had a focus, though, not on deep breathing, but just observing your breath. In and out through your nose, not your mouth. Naturally observing your breath. And on and on and on, going deeper and deeper. As one becomes more equanimous, thus one becomes more aware of the sensations on their body. Areas where they might itch, but instead going deeper and observing, basically, if one is capable, down to a molecular level. Observing the body, and the death and rebirth of the cells on a microscopic subatomic level over and over and over again, and a body of trillions of cells, becoming that aware. Some people have that ability. Some say the universe is within us. So we have the ability to calm ourselves during crises. And if someone is aware that their auric field is being affected and things are rising to the surface like a boil, then they can take appropriate measures to neutralize a situation where they could be going off the hook, by someone knowing about the eclipses, the full moons, and the solar flares, and knowing that they can have a link to psychotic behavior, schizophrenic behavior, violent behavior, wild emotional behavior. Those already prone to going off or blowing their top will be more likely to do so during such events. Grounding is more regarding the meditation of grounding your auric field to the center of the earth. And there's YouTubes you can watch, there's animations, give you a visual. There's someone whose online meditation courses I started taking around 2012 and 2013, and then additional courses later. And some of those courses I still have on my computer. I no longer take those courses anymore because I felt like I have learned all that I could learn from that person. And what I've done is I've absorbed information from different people over the years. Okay, so I don't follow a guru. I don't channel entities. In fact, I believe in protecting the mind on a field level. There's one book that talks about how the mind, this one in particular, has its own field, as does the body, but they're connected. So there's protecting a defense around this and a defense around this and an overlap. And see, there are also certain behaviors, right, actions that can lead to a drop in that field. And then there are certain behaviors and actions that can lead to that field being strengthened. I think certain foods, certain activities, getting sunshine, while certain activities like chain smoking, certain other addictions, media addictions, certain food addictions, simply being in fear and desire, as this book also points out. And it would be good to have a study. Perhaps I'll be the one to blog about it. It certainly needs it, but a modern day discussion about psychic protection in the post-internet age. There's actually another book that I picked up off of thriftbooks.com, where I'm now apparently a regular customer. You can get decent books for like $4. Like, beats Amazon. Why do you need a new book? But it's a book about psychic protection written in the 30s. So I think that these full moons, these solar flares, these eclipses, other events, certain transits, can bring certain healings to some of us, while others, it can almost seem to bring out a certain possession. I've been noting, increasingly so since winter, that there's more people calling for violence during full moons in the YouTube comment section, and other troll-like behaviors, obsessive behaviors around certain events. And I notice when it goes towards a new moon, or when the sun is quiet, right? There's less of that behavior. But try showing those people engaged in that behavior how their actions are lined up with the actions of the stars. Lessons from My Inner Teacher is a book about having faith in your ability to journal and connect with your higher self. And I felt drawn through my Sixth Sense, book by Stuart Wilde, to pick up this book when I saw it. And this book elaborates on his particular understanding. Pick a rock, preferably granite, lay on it for a while, and feel the way it gives off an electrical signal. You'll definitely know that the energy is there. It's not an illusion. Embracing the nature self is the act of grounding yourself geographically in a finite particle body on Mother Earth, while developing your consciousness in an infinite hazy wave dimension. The stress of life locks us into the world of mind and thinking, so we lose touch with the ebb and flow of life. Take a moment to notice and appreciate this current season, then move your feelings throughout all the other seasons that follow throughout the year. So in line with being in nature. I said in one video, I don't understand the idea of celebrating during an eclipse till I started to feel the effects of the eclipse. And now I realize there's something about embracing the energy of the eclipse, especially when it's bringing stuff to the surface. Without even me really knowing the feelings of the eclipse, here I was filling up this notebook, really in my own writing marathon, culminating around the August 7th, 2017 full moon. Purging out, these introductory thoughts, Alex off the grid, pointing now randomly to a page and reading without hesitation. I have to think outside my own box and not let a structure determine my model, or in this case, on-demand video model. I just happen to be talking about that at the moment. I'm going to skip through some of this because a lot of it I happen to have just mentioned. I found over the last winter how little empathy there was for the emotional pain going on inside me. It's still difficult to begin a writing process and complete it about my entire life, specifically childhood. If someone is to really know me, it can only be done by being exposed to my story in writing or print. It cannot be, apparently, it cannot be done by asking about my ethnicity or making guesses about my ethnicity. Unfortunately, I live now in a society that is seemingly possessed with obsessions about racial background and ethnic heritage. In reality, that means more to some people than religion, despite their claims. If belief systems were what they were interested in truly, I would know that. I'm truly lucky and grateful to be where I am now and to have an online job. This was written before I lost my online job. I know that society in general doesn't understand the magnitude of this in order to free oneself to bring technology and off-grid living together. I have my own podium. And then there's AMTV. AMTV and posting there provided a monthly income of $500, a stable situation since February 2015, but month to month it doesn't feel stable with the widespread demonetization of YouTube videos combined with the YouTube ad boycott designed specifically to hurt both branches of left and right independent media, including non-political voices. And it goes on. But see, I'm tapping into this and these feelings that I'm feeling about losing my job and just the need to push forward, right, as the events transpire. As I felt myself pulled to these pages during the full moon. So as we go through these eclipses, right, there may be things that you need to work out. I talked about making a video, right? And before that, just in a single night, just all these topics got to be in the video. All these topics got to be discussed. You know, somehow, or to be brought in, or to be clips to be, you know, considered, or topics or bullet points, right, for a larger geopolitical documentary down the line, just and within my own consciousness, from this project to that project, and the loss of a job, by being aware of it, then and going with the flow. And to a certain degree, going with the flow, allowing the universe to let the pieces settle where they settle, but also putting forth the effort for those pieces to settle in a favorable way. So I know where I want to go. And I know where I want to be on the other side of this eclipse, financially self-sufficient to do what it is here on my own land and to be better at what it is that I do than ever before. Because this is a time in which this world needs unique commentary. That's me. That's where I'm at. And all the stuff that I'm processing. And I get a sense others got to be going through some other things too. But if they're not aware of it, and if they're not taking time to be in nature or to ground or to unplug from the manufactured chaos as seen on YouTube.com, then they might be swept up in the emotion. Again, whether it's an eclipse, or a solar flare geomagnetic storm, or a full moon, but these total solar eclipses, right, the effects much stronger than ordinary full moon periods. And with this last full moon of August 7th, 2017, it definitely felt stronger. And it's not all experienced in a negative way. How it's being manifested, that extreme change, that is definitely different. But basic general rules of thumb, just to reiterate, and then suggest you look online at some of the suggestions of others. We talk about natural body movements. Maybe it's dancing, maybe it's martial arts, maybe it's something else, maybe it's skiing, maybe it's a lot of hiking. Moving came up earlier. It makes total sense for people to maybe be somewhere else, not just for the emotional support, but to be somewhere else. I use the term ley line sometimes because I do think that certain cities or places have a concentration of certain energy. Maybe it's going to be really desirable for someone to get out of their space where all their own thought bubbles. I'll be honest with you. I would like to leave my own space now. This is the ultimate time. Problem is, because I'm somewhat of a loner, I don't really have close friends for thousands of miles. If I did, if I had the opportunity to go to Oregon, for example, if I was to have a ride here in Colorado to be picked up and to be taken to Oregon somewhere, not to pay an outrageous fee, but maybe somewhere else. I do know someone who has a place. I just need the transportation to go there. But I don't need to go there to have a transformation in focus. The loss of my job and all my income could be enough. And right now I seem pretty focused on making back-to-back videos and hoping for the best and allowing myself, now that I understand the process that we're in, a few weeks to make a more important decision as to what I do with my time, if what I'm doing with my time now does not return the positive energy that I need to continue going economically, self-sufficiently on my own land, generating audience support. I'm going to let the dust settle. Because I understand now, and I see enough analysis of the eclipses, the period of the eclipse, right, is not the period to start new projects. It is literally the period that is moving around the things that need to change between us and the old world, right? And that's why I was like, I'm feeling so much pain from the past, like little dots, like memories of nostalgia, journey at the fair, like love, heartbreak, don't stop believing, what the fuck? It's literally like for me all over. It's like, wow, nostalgia, just type of a web. And then just, whew. Also think about my last thoughts for you here today in this video. Grounding out your auric field, grounding out your heart. And your heart chakra is lined up with a layer of the fourth, your auric field, right? Seventh layer, outer layer of your auric field, believed to be connected in with the crown chakra, being first level of the auric field, connected in with your crown or root chakra, right? So going first level, root chakra, first level aura. Second level chakra, second level aura. Third level, so on, third level, solar plex. Fourth level heart, fourth level aura, so on and so forth. Taking time to heal and clear each level. Or just simply the aura as a whole. But I'm not an expert in these things, right? But for those that have spent a lifetime discussing this topic, it all comes down to a strong aura. And maintaining that, just like shower, is a normal part of physical maintenance, right? Health, hygiene. So are exercises like this. And as electromagnetic beings, right, our aura is being zapped and affected, not just our brain, right, wave patterns or fluid in the brain. We're made of water, of course. These eclipses and full moon solar flares have an effect on water and water beings. And literally the waves of information, that energy affecting us, mostly made of water. Think of hidden messages in water. So it's totally normal for us to be affected by these changes. We want to go with these changes. We want to go with the flow. We want to ground out the old energy. We also think about breathing in deeply. Breathing in this positive new energy, letting go of the past, exploring different breathing exercises. There's value in grounding. There's value in Vipassana, in being in almost a Zen, empty mind state and being there, non-reactive, right? And just observing breath as it is. And then there's value in just the deep belly. Na 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 na. The deep breathing belly. Which can be one of the hardest things to focus on for a prolonged period in time. And again, I'm not an expert, but I would definitely recommend a combination of a number of things. Just like we're talking about a diet or spiritual ideas or martial arts, mixed martial arts, where there's a variety of different things, learning what works for you. I see value in Vipassana. I see value in deep breath meditation. I see value in grounding out the aura, focusing on the aura, and being aware that we can be, through our own subconscious, sent into certain directions, intentionally, unintentionally, by these energy changes, by these pain images that come up and rise to the surface. Right? And we can ground out those images or participate in other visualizations, the clearing out of the head, the emptying out of the mind, right? To really visualize that process going forward. So, in conclusion, folks, this is a very powerful time. And this is a time where self-improvement, spiritual, economic, otherwise, seems to be the number one topic in our lives. For now, I'm Alex Ansary, signing off for August 17th, 2017.